Welcome to Coach's Corner Cat fans. Thanks for joining me on this Tuesday afternoon, really a Monday for practice purposes for us since we're playing on Saturday. So certainly we're going to review the game with Mechanicsburg last week, preview the game with Columbus Grove, which will be Saturday at 7. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I call our toolbox, and then I got a couple shout-outs I want to start with. I know last week I talked about our golf outing and all the things that those guys had donated, and I didn't want to leave any of those guys out without seeing their names. So those 6 guys that run the golf outing, graduates of 2 of them from 08, 2 of them from 09, and 2 of them from 010 or from 2010. So Kyle Arns and Ryan Geyer were our 08 graduates, and they were seniors when we beat Mooney up there at the Canton. The juniors from that group, Corey Klinke and Chunky Deuce, they were juniors at the time when we won that game up at Canton. And then the Keith Wenning and Adam Rammel are the 2010 graduates. That those 6 guys have really, and they have their buddies help them with the actual golf outing, but they're the ones that decide on the things that they're going to raise the money for and really organizing the golf outing. So thanks to those 6 guys for all the work they've done on that. The second shout out is really a pretty simple one, but a really good one, I think, is to our team and to our seniors, especially that they're 10-0 right now. So they won 10 straight games. That doesn't happen very often when you can say you were 10-0, even though they weren't all regular season. But the way the circumstances are, to win 10 straight in the league we play in, and then of course these 4 playoff games, it's tough to do. So shout out to our team and especially those seniors for a job well done and winning those first 10 games of the season. So looking back, last week Mechanicsburg came in 9-0, undefeated, and I think they were in the regional finals last year versus Anna. The score was 35-14. They were a really hard-nosed, tough, physically team. They weren't overly big, but they had some guys. They have a bunch of wrestlers and a bunch of tough kids. Their coach is a good guy and runs a good program. And those guys are tough. Their front 7 on defense could run and were stuffing us, and they did a really good job versus our run. Fortunately, we had a good night throwing. I think Miles was 17 or 18 for 25 for over 200 yards. And we did break a long reverse for about 89 yards, I think. So I think the key to the game was that we wore them out. It was an even game. I think 7-7 after the first quarter, and Nolan, one of our offensive tackles, said, "Coach, they are getting really tired. Let's go no huddle." So we went no huddle, and we really sped the game up offensively, and that really took its toll on them. They only played offensively and defensively about 12, 13 guys, so they were really thin. The guys they had out there were good, but they were really thin. So we took advantage of really wearing them out. And after one drive, really one long play, and they ran a nice play on the goal line and kind of got us where they faked the run with the quarterback. And after that first score, we really shut them down the rest of the game, and then they scored late on our young guys. So 35-14, we felt really good about the game. Health-wise, we're still pretty good. We have one guy that with a little bit banged up of an ankle, but I think he'll be ready by Saturday. So 35-14, 3 teams, Triad, West Jefferson, and Mechanicsburg, all from the same league that we had to play this year in the playoffs. So 3 good wins there, and of course then we beat Fort Recovery, one of our league opponents, who had a really good team. So we feel good about that 4-0 start in the playoffs. This week we play Columbus Grove. They are also undefeated, so they are 10-0 right now. They beat Fairview last week, who was a pure throwing team. They beat Archibald, who is a mix run and pass, and then they beat Tenora, who we scrimmaged a few years ago a couple times. So 3 teams that are always pretty good in their area, and they've done a good job. They're a little bit more run pass on offense. They have a big 6'4", 200-pound quarterback and a running back who's not real tall, but he's a stout guy, and one really good receiver that we've really got a game plan for and make sure we try to take care of him. They are really big up front, offensive line, very similar to Fort Recovery. So we've got our work cut out for us up front, and hopefully we can hold up front and really try to slow down their run attack. Defensively, their back four guys are pretty solid, so we'll see how that goes. See if we can mix the run and the pass and keep spreading the wealth with all our guys, and I guess we'll see. They've shown some different defenses against some different teams, and mainly because of the style of the offense that they were playing. So I guess we'll have to figure out what they're going to be doing and try to find those best plays or the best tools, as I'll talk about here in a second. So Columbus Grove, we are playing them at Sidney on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. We're the home team, so we'll be in black jerseys again. And I always let the seniors decide on what pants they want to wear. So last thing I guess I want to talk about, and I just mentioned it, is our toolbox. We call it the toolbox. And I got that phrase from Jay Nysonger, who I coached with for 1 year at Valley View. And Jay's a Hall of Fame coach and won, I think, 3 state titles at Valley View, 2 or 3. We did play them a couple times in the I guess early 2000s. Two really good games with them, and fortunately Coulter won those 2 games. But Jay always talked about filling the toolbox, and so I kind of brought that with me here, and defensively and offensively. We try to do lots of different things, and we don't use them all, but we feel like we don't want to wait till Saturday to say, boy, I wish we would have tried this, I wish we would have tried that. So we call that the toolbox, whether that's defensive fronts, whether that's blitzes, whether those are coverages, offensively, whether those are formations, whether those are screens and draws, whether those are empty formations, whether those are different types of runs, reverses, trick plays. And so we call that fill in the toolbox. And then you go in and use the tool that you feel like you need. So Mechanicsburg was a great example. They did a really good job against our run. So we went to the throwing toolbox a little bit more, and that really helped us. And then eventually we did, like I said, we had a long reverse for a touchdown and really tried to mix some things up to counteract some of the things they were doing for us. So the toolbox is full, and hopefully we can find the right tools for this week when we go to Sidney to play Columbus Grove at 7 o'clock on Saturday night.